Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Thrive Together. I'm Megan Darrow, your host for the day. I'm the executive director of Together, and I use she, her pronouns. Super excited. Very timely podcast. We're going to be talking about one of our major partners and through Tumwater Community Schools. So Sierra is my co-host. You all have met her in previous episodes, but I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself again.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Sierra Abrams, and I'm the Community Schools Director in Tumwater for Together. I use she, her pronouns. And yeah, I'm excited.
So, Sierra, before we introduce our other guests, can you tell us a little about Tumwater Community Schools and what it does for and with kids and families?
Yeah, so Tumwater Community Schools, we work in the Tumwater School District in elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools to provide basic needs access to students and families. So we have staff directly in the school buildings with resource centers that have clothes, hygiene, food, and then the staff is there to connect with case management, other resources to the family. So bringing in community resources directly into the schools with referrals to other agencies, partnerships like the one we're going to talk about today, and other leveraging of community and donations and great things like that.
Awesome. And can you introduce our guests?
Yeah, so today we're very excited to have some guests from For the Love Foundation, which, as Megan mentioned, is a big partner that we have in our work. So I'm really excited for them to talk a little bit about what For the Love Foundation does and themselves. So yeah, I'll pass it to you.
So hi, I'm Charlie Terminelli. I work at America's Credit Union. I use she, her pronouns. And I serve on several boards, but this is I probably shouldn't say one of my favorites, but it is one of my favorites. Go ahead.
My name is Nicole Andrus. I am co-vice president of For the Love Foundation. I also own Nicole's Bar. I use she, her pronouns.
Best bar in town. Plugged.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm allowed to have a favorite. So, so we've been working with For the Love Foundation together for a couple years. In lots of different capacities. But one of the biggest things you do, of course, is coming up right now, right, with your holiday support work. So I'm excited to talk about that. But my first question is, what inspired you to start For the Love, Nicole?
I've been a bartender in town for about 23 years, and I've always found ways to utilize being a bartender to raise money for the community.
Yeah.
I found in my friend Tessa Efland, who is the other co-vice president For the Love, that she was doing the same thing through her gym, Fit Life. And we kind of commingled on an event one night and decided, why not make a foundation and try and help more people than what we were helping in the meantime.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both badass business owners and then just starting side hustles to help our community. So, Sierra, you have the next.
Yeah, well, I'm curious, before I ask that question, if you both want to talk a little bit about like what For the Love does in the community. Megan mentioned a big project that's happening right now, but yeah.
I mean, what we can do is we sat together at our last board meeting and we had an open dialogue about these questions. So that way we have a collective voice coming out here.
Yeah.
So really, I'll read our mission statement that we just created just because I'm really excited to get it out there. But I'll just refer to my notes a lot today. For the Love fosters community by advocating for all those in need. We believe in filling in essential gaps throughout Thurston County. We have recognized there are many challenges that exist right here in our own backyard, and we encourage our network and beyond to participate in community aid with the single goal of in unity we rise. So really, like, we have so many things that we do. Nicole, I mean, I just got on board with you guys. So.
Yeah. To touch on just a couple of things, and I'm sure, Megan, you'll loop back around. This is a busy time of year for us. We started Boxes of Thanks, where we're able to get information from local schools about families in need that need groceries for Thanksgiving that aren't able to provide for themselves. So we rely on our networks and our community to donate, and we provide Thanksgiving dinner for them. Our goal this year was 1,000 turkeys, which comes to about 1,000 families, give or take, through all Olympia, Tumwater. We went down to Tenino, Centralia this year. So that's a big time of year, and it's immediately followed by foster kids. We have 256 foster kids to shop for Christmas this year. So we're pretty excited, busy next couple of months. Those are just a couple of things that we participate in.
Yeah. Well, and it's incredible. I mean, this time of year, I mean, you guys, I went and looked at turkey prices and I was like, what? They've like doubled since last year.
Right.
So
Well, there's a turkey shortage,
and there's a I did not know. Now I know there's a turkey shortage,
There is.
right?
Yep.
It's probably people hoarding turkeys someplace. So, I mean, it's incredible what you all are able to do. I mean, how long ago was For the Love founded?
Who, as a foundation, almost 3 years ago, I would say.
Yeah, I was going to say under
Yeah.
5 years. And you all are already like such a huge player with the schools. I mean, and with Tumwater Community Schools. So thank you all so much. So will you talk? I love your mission statement, and I like got all like, yes, this is why we work together, right? Is there's so much synergy between our missions. But what needs, right, do you all see in the community, and what gaps are you all hearing about the most, right?
So I think really paying attention to like practicing active listening in the school districts. There are a lot of one-offs that we get in the middle of the night over text message, whether it's like a friend in need, a neighbor in need, people in this, anyone. And we'll provide shelter, we'll provide, money for, like she said, like Nicole said, for groceries, hotel stays. So really it's any gap. I can't really pinpoint an exact gap because we're trying to fill everything, honestly. We just said that a second ago.
Yeah. Yeah, we were able to, when that fire was right down the road here, we were able to, hit Fred Meyer and get replace school clothes and make sure they had school lunches. And, another part of the community was gracious enough to put them up in a hotel so they were able to take showers. And that's, for as little as somebody being able to take a shower and not spend a week in their car, with not clean clothes or fresh food. So anything like that, we'd love to help.
What I love about For the Love Foundation is that you all are so community driven, and very connected. And that's in your mission, right? That you activate your networks and your personal networks. And that's really cool.
Yeah.
Not a lot of foundations are doing that community building work. And that's why we love y'all so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to hold up that work. So, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. And I just want to say also, kind of going back to turkeys, that we're really excited in Tumwater Community Schools, for that partnership. And I think, if I remember correctly, it's like close to 200 turkey baskets for Tumwater families. So that's really, really exciting. And I know, the community schools managers are dialed into that and excited to get them to the families and all that. But the next question I have for both of you is, what do you see as our community's greatest strengths doing this work?
So we talked a little bit about this at the board meeting, and we believe that the ability for us to create and cultivate authentic relationships, it ultimately propels the organizations like this one to serve the community collectively. Our board talks a lot about like the community in general, the willingness to give.
Yeah.
And I think that I didn't realize how much we had out here with these giving hearts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So many people want to give and don't know how.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get to that
Yeah.
eventually. But I talk to people on the daily, just at the bar saying how lucky they were coming through COVID, right? And that they would like to give back and they just don't know how.
Right.
So it's fun to talk about that and tell people how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think you've built so much trust in the community, you and Tessa, and your board members, that helps people feel that
Yeah.
what they're giving to, right, that they are part of the community.
Right.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry. What advice would you give to people who want to do more good in their community, but don't know where to start? Those people at the bar, what do you tell them, Nicole?
I tell them, about several organizations. I tell them about Together. I tell them about For the Love. There are a ton of nonprofits. The Bridge Music Project. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Did, yeah.
You
Okay.
did.
Yes. There's so many different avenues. Some parents have kids that are interested in music, and they want to give back to that certain community. So there's lots of diversity in how people want to give back. So I try to have a mental list of all the different foundations that
Yeah.
they're able to. So it's not just focused on one. We run a foundation. Of course, we would love donations, but it's not just about us. It's about everyone
Yeah.
and all their different interests. And people like the Bridge are meeting the needs of people that want that musical, opportunity.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. We love the Bridge.
Yeah.
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 Sure. I think a lot of times too, we have to put the fear of rejection aside and to be vulnerable and ask those questions.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're moving with purpose and intent, then you're definitely going to get the answers. I think the universe will bring you the answers. But we are collectively, the community has so many nonprofit organizations. And if we do have a mental list, we have an avenue for everybody.
Yeah.
I also think getting, more local social media businesses involved.
Yes.
I know that I've heard a couple commercials on the radio for the Love Foundation, and the lady that we're working with in that, says that a lot of foundations don't even reach out to even try and get that kind of public,
Yeah.
publicity out there. But I've had several people go, "We just heard about you on the radio,"
Right.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
And radio stations are willing to do that. A lot of places are.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Quick plug for Porcupine Media. They love to do it too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Woo whoop. Yeah. Well, so a couple of words that I want to pick up and hold up here is, you guys talk about that collective and community building, right? Which is what our tagline is building community as an act of resistance, right? The way that we're going to, to fix the ills that we talk about in this podcast is really to build, liberated spaces where we're all connecting and meeting the needs of our community, right? And I would say especially kids, because I know For the Love really focuses on families and kids and making sure that their needs are met, and also that during the holiday season that they have what they need to feel connected to their peers or what's happening during the holidays for their community, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Even when turkeys are twice the price.
Yeah. And there's a shortage.
Yeah, and there's a shortage. I love it. That's what you guys, I know. I love it. Well, and you guys have to order turkeys. I'm sorry, this is a tangent. You have to order turkeys really far in advance to
We
make
sure
this
do.
happen, right?
Yeah,
And-
middle of August.
Yeah, middle of August.
Yep.
And you all just make it happen.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little plug for Harbor Wholesale.
Yeah.
They took care of our turkeys for us this year. So thank you.
Graciously.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the question that I talked earlier that I kind of threw in here. But I'm curious, with the future in mind, what are your goals and hopes for the future of our community, and how For the Love is a part of that, and how you want it to be a part of that?
Tessa and I joke about this often because, we'll get together and just think about all the people we're helping, but also all the people who are unable to help. I think for most nonprofits, but speaking solely for myself, I think you want to help as many people as you can going forward, right? So we started really small, and now we're going to serve 1,000 turkey dinners, which, 3 years ago we didn't even think was possible, or we were going to be able to do that. So, I mean, to say that our goals are like 100% more than this year, next year, is probably pretty accurate. That's what we talk about. But making sure that in the meantime, we're still building a strong foundation so that we are continuing to help the people now and then in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I can add on to that because we are all very passionate. We do want to help every single person.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a hard
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. Well, I know some of the people calling you all with those last minute needs are our staff. So thanks for always being willing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
yeah, to problem solve, right? Because that's the thing is, I think in the Tumwater Community Schools program, thinking about what our staff do, it's not that they have like all of the answers or all of the resources. It is their job is to problem solve, right? And you all help problem solve for families because it's complicated, you know, like there isn't always the $700 it takes to get somebody into a rental, right? Or, you know, where the only way to get somebody a hot shower is to put them up in a hotel, right? And there's all of these restrictions on what you can spend certain money on and where that money is at any given time, which organization has it, and to have a foundation who isn't just, you know, I would say like giving a grant with restrictions. You guys are like really part of it, you know?
Right.
Yeah, listening, you have your ear to the ground, and I love that.
I think one thing that I can say that For the Love does really well is that we have built a vast ecosystem. Like we have I know we've plugged Harbor Wholesale, and we could probably plug 1,000 businesses that have helped us, but we have the resources and the connections to actually reach out to those people in the ecosystem and say, hey, this is what we need. Can you help fill this gap?
Yeah.
So I think that's important too, to make sure we always collectively have that in our back pocket.
Yeah. What are some things right now that people could do to help For the Love, especially with your big lift here in the next week? Do you have any
I think
asks out?
just be available. You know, as we start to put together the turkey boxes, we start to collect names for the foster kids for Christmas time. Sorry, the holidays. I think being available is key. I'm not saying that you need to take off work or, you know, lose money that way, but things change rapidly in life, and sometimes people can't show up, and sometimes people can show up, and just so being available, donating your time, donating if you have the money, donating resources. I think one of the biggest things I learned this year in the foundation is how important it is to work with other foundations. Like you guys, Olympia Firefighters Foundation has been huge for the Love this year. So if you are available with your time, great. If you're available with ideas, great. We'll take whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
And one thing I wanted to say, going back to that question I threw in there of like, what are your hopes and dreams? Like, I love how like you all dream big and have a big vision. And I feel like that's really important to, you know, not like stifle our goals, you know, like to just be like, yeah, everyone, yeah, double, like 100% more, and just like, like have that intention. And like, I feel like, you know, it's just been up and up for the amount of stuff you guys have been able to do. And I like that. I like working with that big dream.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Me too.
Thank you.
I mean, I think sometimes, especially working in nonprofits, we can have a really resource constrained mindset. And For the Love is abundance, right? I mean, you all are like saying yes and making it happen, and saying things like our community has the resources. We just need to make the right asks and plug people in. I love that vibe. I could use that every day. Sometimes I feel a little resource constrained in my thinking, that's for sure. So one question we ask all guests is, what does building community as an act of resistance mean to you? So I want y'all to give me your thoughts.
So we sat in this for a while. I think I sat in it when we talked in the pre-production meeting, because I was just like, man, that's such a good question. So there's so much conversation around resistance in general, and there's just so much, to me, there's a lot of chatter, because change is different and no one likes change, but I feel like we need to step away from that resistance, and it's very difficult to step away from that resistance, but raising the awareness and just with big voices and saying what you were just talking about with abundance. Like if you give with abundance, you're going to receive with in abundance, right? And so I think that having that positive energy constantly will change that active resistance and really make everything start flowing. Do you want to add on to that? Because we talked so much.
We did talk a lot about that.
We did.
You know, a lot of owning a business downtown, there's a lot of resistance about, you know, homeless people, houseless people, and what they're doing to the community, what they're not doing for the community. But small things that you do see, right, is a houseless young man comes and blows leaves off my patio every other day. And, you know, I have customers sometimes say, hey, you got somebody on your patio, you probably want to get them off. And instead I go out and hand them $10 and say, thank you.
Yeah.
So meeting their, I mean, I think it's fear-based, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So meeting their fears with, this guy is actually doing something good for the community.
Yeah.
And if I give him $10, he gets to eat for the next day, and you know, he's going to come back in a couple days and do it again.
Yeah.
So that's just an example that I can give for that.
Yeah. Yeah. You're part of that guy's community.
Yeah.
And he's part of yours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's right. I love it. I'm getting all teary. That was good. That was good, Nicole. That was good. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, the next question is for both of you. What is giving you hope right now through your work, in your work, and in the world?
So we talked about this too. And I took notes. So again, that we could have a collective voice of the board. The amount of trust the business community and our neighbors has in For the Love, and how much we come together to fill in the gaps. I think that's what gives us the most strength, because again, we leverage our partnerships, we leverage our friends, our family, and they are so willing to give. And I think that we forget that a lot of times because everybody's scared to ask. I've been doing philanthropic work for a very long time, and I'm still, there's a fear of rejection. Everybody has it. But I think if you go forward knowing that there's people out there that are moving with good intent and they're willing to give, I think that just adds that extra trust within our communities. Do you want to add on?
I think what's giving me hope right now is the amount of people at this time this year that are just stepping up to donate and to help. It blows my mind. Every morning I wake up and we get an update on numbers, and I'm just like, that's so heartwarming and gives me so much hope to what we can do with our extremely high goals in the next few years.
Yeah.
We'll get that call from Ellen or Oprah.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, for sure. I mean, For the Love Foundation definitely gives me hope too, right? I mean, having a community-based nonprofit who's really building connections in the community, leveraging the community, and involved in the work, right, is awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
Do y'all have anything else to say on this podcast about For the Love?
I feel like we should shout out every single one of our board members because they are so incredibly fantastic. We have very strong, passionate women that are super professional and just, they all have hearts of gold.
And they all work full-time jobs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
do this on the side.
Yep. Yeah. So do you want to shout them out by name?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, I think we should.
Sure.
Yeah, do it.
All right. Go ahead.
Tessa Efland, Megan Borden, Courtney Prothero.
Prothero.
Okay, got it. Katie Betchart, Katie McDonald,
Yeah.
Maxie Brooks.
Maxie Brooks,
Nicole.
and Charlie.
Candace, and Charlie.
Yeah.
Yep. Us. Oh, yeah. Go us. Go team.
Yeah.
We want to thank you so much for having us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We love working with the Tumwater Community Schools, and
Yeah.
thank you for assisting in giving us more things to donate to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you know, we try.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep them coming.
Yeah, good. We will. Well, thank you for spending some time with us today.
Absolutely.
And thank you for what you're doing for the community right now. I'm going to say this on the podcast. I'm going to drive my truck and I'm going to help on the 21st. So
Thank you.
well, I mean, shoot, for everything you guys are doing for the community, that's an easy easy task for me. And for listeners, I hope you keep listening. We're getting better and better. Sometimes we're nervous. It's getting better and better. And I want to give a shout out again to Porcupine Media
Yes.
for
Yes,
having to
thank
listen
you.
to us and drone on all the time about our work. So fun
media
to work
company.
with. Yep,
Yeah.
great media company. And I hope you all find where to plug in to our community, because there's plenty of places to do it. And with that, we'll say goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
See you next
Thank
time.
you.